Alkanols. A functional group is an atom or a group of atoms connected to a carbon atom in a molecule. It has specific chemical properties regardless of the other atoms in the molecule. It operates in a similar way regardless of the molecule to which it is attached. The name derives from the fact that it helps determine the function of a molecule, right? Functional groups. We will introduce functional groups as they are needed to understand different classes of molecules. An alkyl group is a functional group that contains only carbon and hydrogen atoms, nothing else. They are derived from alkanes but have one fewer hydrogen, so their formula is CnH2n+1, where n is equal to 1, 2, etc. Alkane's formula is CnH2n+2. Alkyl groups, like other functional groups, are not stable when they're alone, only when bonded to a compound. The alkyl groups are derived from alkanes by removing one hydrogen. So here's our alkyl group, here's the alkane. The bond that held the removed hydrogen is then used to bond to a compound. So let's go to the bottom here. Here's our formula for alkanes. And on the previous slide, we said the alkyl has one less hydrogen, right? It's 2n+1 instead of 2n+2. So that hydrogen left, and here's the bond now that the hydrogen used to be on, that can now be used to bond to another compound. So we start with the alkanes, methane, ethane, propane, etc. You start with one carbon, then 2, then 3, and then the amount of hydrogens is 2n+2. And then the alkyl group over here. Looks similar, except instead of saying methane, we say methyl. Instead of saying ethane, we say ethyl. And the formulas will be CN, then H2n+1, and then we put the bond on the left side. That's this line over here. Okay, now let's move to the hydroxyl groups. That's a hydrogen atom covalently bonded to an oxygen atom. And then here's the dash. Okay, here's oxygen, here's hydrogen. The dash indicates that this group of two atoms will bond with a molecule. So this is representing the bond that's going to bond to another molecule. Alcohols have a hydroxyl group, that's the OH here, connected to at least one carbon in a compound. Alkanols are a type of alcohol. In the case of alkanols, the hydroxyl group is bonded to an alkyl group or connected to an alkane chain, replacing at least one hydrogen atom. Okay, clearly we have to show an example of that previous slide. So we're going to use methanol, which is formed from methane, which is an alkane. Methane is CH4. To form the alkanol, one H is replaced by OH. So what does that give us? That gives us CH3OH, right? We had 4 here, so we got rid of one of those hydrogens, but right away replaced it with the OH. So we have CH3OH. A methyl group, CH3, is bonded to an OH hydroxyl group. The name of this alcohol is methanol. The process is repeated for each alkane to derive its related alkanol. In general, to name an alcohol, an alkanol, replace the E in its related alkane with all, and we'll have some examples coming right up. So the alkanols, that's over on this side, are derived from the alkanes over here by replacing one hydrogen with a hydroxyl group. Here are the first 6 alkanols. And here's the formula for alkane. Okay, alkane is Cn2n+2. The alkanol is going to be Cn2n+1, right? Took away a hydrogen, but added the OH. And let's just pick propane here. Propane, the alkane, its alkanol is propanol. We replaced the ane part with the ol. And you can take a look at these and see the various formulas. We did the first 6 alkanes and alkanols. Now try doing the next 4. Heptane, octane, nonane, and decane. First, put the formula in here for the alkane, and then convert that to the alkanol by removing one H and putting in an OH. So pause the video, give this a shot, and then go to the next page for the answers. Here's our guide down below. And let's do the first one, heptane. Heptane has 7 carbons, and hydrogens will be 2n plus 2. So 2 times 7 is 14, plus 2 is 16. So here's the formula for heptane. Heptanol, we take away one of the hydrogens, so it goes from 16 down to 15. But we then add the OH group here. So it's going to be C7H15OH. So check what you did, please, against these answers, and hopefully you got them all right. The boiling point of an alkanol is higher than that of its related alkane. The larger the alkanol, that means the longer carbon chain, right, there's your carbon chain, the higher its boiling point, due to larger London dispersion forces as compared to hydrogen bonding forces. The smaller alkanols are soluble in polar solvents like water, but the larger ones are less soluble, but still more soluble than their related alkane. Uses of alkanols. Manufacturing, formaldehyde, which is a preservative for laboratory specimens. Manufacturing bakelite, a polymer plastic, and we'll have a whole unit on polymers coming up. Formation of different types of resins, dyes, drugs, perfumes, lotions, creams, and other cosmetics. Specifically, glycerol contains 3 hydroxyl groups, 1, 2, 3, O and an H. This structure allows it to form multiple hydrogen bonds with water. Glycerol is added as a moisturizer to skin products. More uses. They are important solvents in plastic and textile industries and synthesis intermediates. Those are molecules that form from reactants or previous intermediates and react again, hence the word intermediate, to form the products of a reaction. Phenols contain a hydroxyl group connected to a carbon in a benzene ring. That's right over there. Phenol has diverse uses and gives its name to the general class of compounds such as phenolic resins. Ethanol, CH3CH2OH, and here's the symbol, right, that makes it the ol, is used as a solvent for synthesis in cooking, in alcoholic beverages for drinking, in medicine, and as an antiseptic and as a fuel. Right? Next time you're at a gas station, check it out. It will say, most of the stations say this, all gasoline products contain 10% or less ethanol, so your engine can burn it. Rubbing alcohol is 70% isopropyl alcohol, which is never used for drinking. This is poison. You don't want it inside your body. Ethanol is the major component in spirits used for drinking purposes. This is very dangerous, though. Consuming too many alcoholic drinks, which involve this, cause the breakdown of the central nervous system, not good, affects your digestive and endocrine glands, very bad, and affects the circulatory system. And here are some various diseases that alcoholism can cause. Cirrhosis of the liver, reproductive dysfunction, pancreatitis, chronic heart failure, damage to brain functions. Very, very bad.